Well, hello there. I got something to talk about you today. New York State's property tax levy cap. What is it, and why do you care about it? Well, come on, let's talk. This is a smoke-free building. The more you know. Well, the explanation is a lot more confusing than the name itself, but I'm going to do my best to explain it to you. Here we go. How do I get in? I was just filming. So, the New York tax levy cap is a cap, but it isn't a cap. And why is that? Well, it's a 2% cap, but in New York State, 2% does not equal 2%. It isn't a cap because it doesn't actually prevent the tax from increasing for more than 2%. So instead of something simple, school districts get a cute little formula to follow. And did I say cute? Because I meant confusing. So let me break this down for you really simply. Basically, you have your prior fiscal year tax levy, which is the one prior to this year, and you multiply it by this other figure here, which is important because it has an asterisk, and then you're going to add that to this stuff, which is, sure, and then you get a number, and then you multiply that by this, which is important because that's how it got the name. There's the 2% in there, it's 2%, and it has a double asterisk there because it's extra important, and then you just follow the rest of this stuff until you get to the end, and there you go, not confusing at all, right? That means the tax levy limit is not actually 2%, it's whatever the state says it is after using that cute little formula. So because of the formula, the tax levy limit is different for every school. But why doesn't this cap at 2%? Well, that's because it's not a cap. It's a voter threshold stating that if the cap exceeds the limit, it needs a 60% voter approval to pass. I'm sorry, it's confusing. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I feel the same way. Dustan, I don't know how to get down. Dustan. So it's a cap, but it's not a cap. It's a formula that gives you a cap that needs voter approval. Who really knows what's going on? Oh, hey, Eli.
I just ate.
But this number figure only applies to the tax levy. Oh, whoa, slow down there, Chuck. You didn't even tell me what a tax levy limit was yet. You're absolutely right, I didn't tell you what a tax levy is. A tax levy is the total amount of property taxes a school collects from property owners in the area to balance their budget and do all that fun stuff with. So what you pay on your tax bills, or your parents pay, is a completely different number. So let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned here. What does the tax levy limit cap have to make schools do differently? Well, not a whole lot. They have to use a fun formula now, and it just makes a whole lot of hoopla for nothing. Well, friends, I hope you learned something about taxes and budgets and levies and stuff today. Until the next time we get to meet, this has been Nick Walker giving you the latest on all that junk.
With each year come new changes, and each change from both past and present years affect the school in different ways. Last year, there were a very large amount of changes that required a large transition by both students and staff. This includes the merging of the middle school to the high school and an entirely different entrance.
It was a lot of work for the teachers and the students, and the beginning of the school year was difficult because everybody was trying to get used to the changes. Students are going between two buildings. The teachers, in addition to new APPR standards, new assessments, the whole change, some teachers were teaching things differently. So the beginning of the year was real stressful for everybody.
This year, a position was created with the title Dean of Students, which was filled by Mr. Long. Mr. Long's primary responsibility is to carry out the discipline of grades 7 through 12.
As Dean of Students, it's my job to help with student issues, assist teachers with these issues, and provide the assistance with the current administration.
The changes that will be affecting next school year are very minimal. There are 2 cuts to the staff which will reduce their positions in half. These include the high school technology courses and the middle school home economics class.
They're not mandatory state mandated classes, they're electives, which is a little sad, as we like to offer as many electives as we can. So that's the cut that we had to make this year in this budget, but as a whole we survived this budget period pretty well, and we're going to be pretty much the same next year as we are this year. Our big change was from last year to this year.
Springtime can be a very scary time for some school districts. Are there any major changes coming your way this next year?
There really aren't major changes coming to Seneca School. The only change we have is that we have a lower enrollment at 6th grade, which means we have to cut a section of 6th grade. Unfortunately, that meant that a teacher lost a position because we had to cut a section because of enrollment.
How did the school acquiring iPads affect Seneca?
The teachers have more time to do some hands-on applications with the students, and I think the biggest area that the iPads really affected Seneca School at was in the area of math, because there's so many wonderful math learning games on the iPads. I've seen a lot of the teachers use it for that.
Do you believe that the kids responding well to the teachers is due to the teachers themselves?
Oh, I think it is a combination of things. We have some really good students here in grades 3, 4, 5, and 6. 3, 4, 5, and 6 are the years where students are very enthusiastic towards learning, and they respond very well to their teachers. So between the enthusiasm of the students and the wonderful things that the teachers do with them, it's a real partnership.
How has Seneca changed through the last few years of the budget?
Well, the biggest thing was 6th grade coming here, because prior to this school year, we were only grades 3, 4, and 5. When we had a retirement at the middle school of the middle school principal, and Mr. Bridenstine made the decision that 6th grade come to Seneca School, it caused us to really take a look at the building, where the rooms we have in the building. Every available classroom here at Seneca School is being used.
Thank you for your time. This has been Ford Reynolds reporting for Warrior Vision on the budget.
Recently, New York State introduced a change to teacher evaluations. Previously, these evaluations were based primarily on the effectiveness and thoroughness of the teacher's skills. This new idea, however, is based more on the student's test results more than an observation of the teacher.
Teachers are now evaluated based on an administrative observation and how their students do on a local assessment or test and a state assessment or test.
All teachers from pre-kindergarten through 12th grade are being evaluated. These changes have affected each building in its own way.
The teachers are no longer just evaluated on administrative observations. Currently and for future years, teachers are now evaluated based on an administrative observation and how their students do on a local assessment or test and a state assessment or test.
The teacher evaluation process that New York State set up is complicated, and it's very draining, I think, on the administration. However, most of us do our jobs anyways, so honestly, I feel like it takes a little bit extra time away from the kids to prove to New York what we're doing, but it's a necessary evil, I guess. And I guess, we all need to be held accountable, and this is New York State's way of doing that.
The administrators are also a part of these new evaluations.
The teachers are rated as either highly effective, effective, developing, or ineffective based on a combination of these three elements.
Come out and vote on May 21st from noon to 9 p.m. in the high school gym. Come support our programs, support our students. We are worth the investment.
Hello, I'm Warriors and reporter Joe Hinman, and welcome to this year's sports segment of the 2012-2013 budget program. I'm here to discuss the school year's accomplishments during the past seasons. Many student athletes had successful seasons throughout the year. Sports give students that extra drive to complete their schoolwork for eligibility. Fortunately, no sports will be cut from the budget, so all athletes, coaches, and spectators may look forward to the upcoming school year of sports. It was an exciting fall season to kick off the school year. The swim and women had a superb season, as they were undefeated Division II League champions, going 8-0, along with an undefeated 13-0 overall record, and snatching the CCAA Division II County Championship. I spoke with senior Lindsay Forthman about the past swimming season.
For the first time in Salamanca swimming history, we went undefeated. We beat Frewsburg, who was undefeated for almost 30 years. We became county champions at our Olean swim meet. We sent multiple girls to sectionals, and we all made it back for finals the following day.
The varsity football team also had a great year, earning themselves the 2012 Class C South Championship title under new head coach Paul Furlong. Senior Tanner John was selected as a Class C South League MVP of 2012 and was also chosen for the first team all-purpose all-state team. He joined seniors Cameron Caputi and Dusty Lewis for the Big 30 game. I spoke with senior Tanner John about the past football season.
It was fun, great experience. Winning some games, league championship. So great group of guys we played with, some fun coaches. Coach Furlong, he made the season very fun with his comments, and great guy. Too bad we're losing him.
The soccer teams had a great season, as the boys team had an overall record of 11-5-1 and girls with an 11-6-1 record. Michael Morris was selected for the Big 30 and league offensive MVP. I spoke with Michael Morris about the past season of soccer.
Past season of soccer was pretty good. We ended up with a winning record. A lot of newcomers coming out and playing ball like they should have. Coach Roger Studd couldn't have did more. Came to every practice, everything. We got a bunch of people who stepped up, and we lost to the sectional champs last year, Holland, by only 1 goal, which was pretty good. And we got a lot of big mentions, and that was about it.
Girls started the season with a new head coach, Mr. Ryan Deppa. Kaylin Tinnerman and Shay Smith made league first team. Mickey also made Big 30, and Shay was an all-Western New York scholar athlete. Moving along to winter,
the boys and girls basketball teams both had a decent season, as boys graduated 2 seniors in Tanner John and Bryce Dahlman, and girls graduated 3 in Michaela Sluga, Shay Smith, and Marissa Huffman.
I spoke with current junior Jaron Ball about the past basketball season.
Our year in basketball went pretty good. Our team was better than our record really was, and we didn't really start playing as a team till the end of the year, but I thought our season was pretty good.
The boys and girls bowling squads had a phenomenal year. The boys went undefeated 9-0, and Nolan Edwards was selected to the first team All-Star in their division. The most memorable moment of the winter season, though, was Dusty Lewis, who attended the New York State Wrestling Championship in Albany, New York. He placed 4th after entering the competition with a wild card berth. Congratulations, Dusty. The weather is clearing up and it's getting warmer and warmer. Many athletes have chose to double up this spring season to play 2 sports of their desire. The lacrosse team is having great success over at Vets Park, with senior captain Tanner John leading his squad into playoffs. The baseball and softball teams keep swinging those bats, looking to improve on last year's records. The boys and girls track teams are having a successful season, as they have started out very well. Some members have qualified provisionally for the sectional competition in June. Fortunately, there were many student athletes that signed up trying to fulfill the spots of the graduated seniors. Sales Sites is still working for that pole vault record. Many current members and newcomers have made their way into the top 10 school record list for events they have competed in. Boys tennis and golf teams are competing well in this nice weather.
From a student athlete's perspective and me, a big thanks and appreciation goes out to the board and community for their support. This has been Warrior Vision reporter Joe Hinman reporting to you from the 4 Years in Track at Salamanca High School. Thank you, and go Warriors.
2013-2014 budget proposal lies a change in competition for the sports program. The divisions within the league could change. Some districts on the outside of the county or on the fringe want the divisions to be changed due to the location of the schools they travel to. Currently, the divisions are set up by the beds numbers, which is the school enrollment size. Districts wanted the change because of the time their athletes would get home on a school night. Salamanca doesn't want the change because we are centrally located for our division. Therefore, it doesn't affect us as much as some other schools. The only sport who will not see a change is the football team. This is because they do not go through the league, they go through the section. With this new proposal, schools hope to get students home on time and save gas.
In the music programs, Emma Bocharski was sent to Junior High Area All-State for band, and Andy Pierce, Kayla Kovacs, Lauren Harvey, and April Klusik went for chorus. Jill Magara, Therese Friedhaber, and Chris John all qualified for Senior High Area All-State for chorus. 10 students went to Junior High All-County for instruments, along with the 10 students who went to Senior High All-County, also for instruments. 5 students were sent to both Senior and Junior High All-County for chorus. 22 students went to Solo Fest this year. The newly combined Senior Junior High Drama Club put on a very successful production of Cole Porter's Kiss Me Kate this year, with a cast of 35 and a crew of 19. Jill Magara, Austin Hill, Markie Mohr, and Dustan Whitcomb were all in the leading roles. The Science Honor Society went to a presentation at JCC on the perils of the ocean. There are 14 new members. Shay Smith, Jill Magara, Marissa Huffman, Matt Crandall, and Haley John went to the State Career Conference for DECA. Marissa Huffman and Matt Crandall were inducted into DECA Honor Society this year as well. Jill Magara finished in the top 10 on her written test in Quick Service Restaurant Management. Shay Smith finished in the top 10 in her written test, Roleplay 1 and Roleplay 2, as well as finishing top 10 overall. She ended up finishing 4th overall in her event, Business Services Marketing, and attended the International Career Conference. National Honor Society currently has 27 members, 15 seniors and 12 juniors. They have participated in the Great Strides Cystic Fibrosis Walk, the March of Dimes Walk, and the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's Pennies for Patients Drive, which they raised $723 for. 28 students are involved in the International Club this year. They are currently preparing for the trip to Paris, France, and Rome planned for April 2014. The Math Honor Society has 10 new members this year. They have participated in the High School Math Contest, the Houghton American Math Contest, and the SUNY Fredonia Math Challenge Day. The 6 members of Model UN have been preparing debates and fundraising for a conference at Gannon University in November of 2013. The Model Unipithy group has been trained on the UN Declaration of Indigenous Rights and participated in a panel discussion on the Doctrine of Discovery at Buff State, where Bryce Stallman was on the panel. Gabby Papa made 2 statements at UN Expert Group Meeting on Indigenous Youth in January, which the group participated in as well. They will make a statement to the UN Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues in May. The Forever AC/DC Club, which focuses on bringing positive change to the community, organized Goin' Bald for Bucks. This was a community fundraiser which raised $5,000 for the Roswell Park Cancer Institute. The group also organized Cattaraugus County's Got Talent, some of the funds from which were donated to the Youth Center's backpack program in memory of Sandy Hook victims. The Business Marketing Honor Society helped to set up for Bald for Bucks and have 9 new members this year. 49 students in teams of 7 participated in Odyssey of the Mind in Divisions 1 and 2 this year and went to the regional competition. In the car problem, the Seneca Elementary team placed 3rd and the junior high team placed 1st, advancing them to the state competition. The classic problem team from Seneca Elementary placed 3rd overall. The humor problem team from Seneca placed 2nd. In the structure problem, both Seneca and junior high teams advanced to the state level. The Warrior Vision Media Crew won Best in Show at the SBU Extraordinary Stories Contest and had 2 videos in the top 30 in the NYCM Insurance Distracted Driving PSA contest. At the moment, none of these extracurricular programs are scheduled to be cut in the upcoming school year. However, we need to support these programs to ensure they are able to be enjoyed by all future students.
I think it's a very important skill, and in the fact of everything now is teach to a test, right or wrong answer, follow the directions and do exactly what you should. But when you start to get into the real world, employers want somebody that can think outside the box, that can look past the only one way to do it and find other ways to do it. It helps people be creative thinkers and will eventually give you better employment skills.
What's your favorite thing about art?
Well, my favorite thing about art has to be that after freshman year, you don't have to take art. So when you go in sophomore, junior, senior year, it's people that want to be in art, not that they have to be. So you get to enjoy other people that actually love art.
What's your favorite thing about art?
My favorite thing about art would have to be the fact that we have all kinds of different projects that we can pick whatever we want to do, that we don't have to do the same thing as everyone else.
My favorite thing about art is like getting lost in my projects and not having to deal with like the stressful parts of my day. So it's kind of like a break for me.
I think one of the reasons I like being an art teacher and why I decided to do that, I always wanted to teach so that to be around children and to help mold them into who they are. And I went to school for education. I went to Fredonia and then took a few art classes and decided that's the way I wanted to go with it.
At the Salamanca Art Show, a variety of different pieces of art are showcased. All artwork is created by our Salamanca students from pre-K all the way to 12th grade. 12th graders get their own selection to display in the art show. They choose art they have created and are most proud of to showcase. From 11th grade down, art teachers choose great pieces of art by the students to be shown in the art show.
It is May 21st, Tuesday, that's in the high school gym during the budget vote.
The band program has many talented students that put hard work and effort into playing their best. The junior high band is conducted by Mrs. Killian, and the senior high is conducted by Mr. Wilder. Some special pieces that the junior high band will play this year are the Big Bang Theory theme song, Jazz Ballad with soloist Kayla Kovacs on trumpet, Over the Rainbow with soloist Taylor Brown playing alto saxophone, and Steps of Russia. The junior high will go on first, followed by the senior high. Some of the senior high's special pieces that they will perform are Highlights from Chess. Jessica Fish will have a solo, as well in Gershwin. The spring band concert is on Wednesday, May 15th at 7:30 p.m. Come support our junior and senior high and enjoy a night filled of wonderful music.
In today's society, technology has become an important part of daily routine. This year at Salamanca High School, a new form of technology was introduced. Students in 11th and 12th grade were provided with district iPads for academic purposes. These students are encouraged to take their iPads home as well as throughout the school year to further expand their research abilities. Teachers at Salamanca school districts were also provided with iPads to broaden their curriculums.
The iPads are really useful during class because they make it so that you don't have to carry as many binders because you can keep a lot of your notes on the iPad itself. And a lot of students are much better at typing than they are at writing because of modern technology, so they can type faster than they can write, so they can keep up with the teacher easier.
Some teachers have gone beyond expectations with their iPads, aiding students that are in the classroom as well as students who cannot be. Like first grader Vincent, who got to talk to his entire class using FaceTime on the iPads while he was in the hospital with stomach problems.
He passed it on the iPad, and then it felt like I was actually here.
Distance is no longer a problem here at Salamanca School District. Video conferencing between the schools in the district and our distance learning programs aid to reduce this dilemma. Distance learning can range from science to math that is taught by a teacher in a different school district and is broadcasted live to Salamanca students that have chosen this class in the LGI or Large Group Instruction Room. This program gives students an opportunity to take a class that would normally not be offered at Sally High.
With an increasingly dangerous world comes the need for more effective security measures. Our school district's current infrastructure consists of an extensive network of security cameras. Big Brother watches vigilantly for any troublemakers roaming the halls. After 7:45, every entrance is locked, which prevents any unwanted intruders. Every visitor must ring the school's nifty doorbell alerting the attendant's kiosk. And if that's not enough, a police officer diligently patrols the halls, always ready for every scenario. With next year's district budget around the corner, the question rises of how the security of the district will be affected, and at what cost. To answer that, Warrior Vision interviewed the principal of Prospect Elementary School, Mr. Donald Ensel. So is the security of the district a major part of the budget?
There's no one specific line that's the security line in the district budget. There's many areas that security covers, and of course security is a state of readiness, it's a state of well-being, it's not necessarily a specific place. So if you went in the budget and said, geez, where can I find the line that says security, you won't find one. But if you went in the budget and you looked in there for an area that said, what is the cost for maintenance of our security cameras, you would find a line for that. What's the cost for our ADT services? What's the cost for checking fire extinguishers? So you would find it in that regard, but in terms of consolidated one area, it doesn't exist in that regard.
What security does the district have at the moment?
The district has a comprehensive plan, and there's other areas that come into play. Let's talk about the hard and soft side of security. In this day and age of many changes in our society, parents in our community and students and our faculty rightfully need to be concerned about the wellness. And security starts with you. It starts with me, being observant and reporting things. On the soft side of things, there's what we see. There's the policies. There's the policy that the Board of Education adopted last November, which is our emergency operations plan. I can tell you a little bit more about that. But on the hard side, you have things like our ADT system, our fire alarm system, our school resource officer, those things that respond to emergencies or urgencies within the district. In terms of preparedness, New York state law requires every school district to have an emergency operations plan. We have one. Ours is considered an all hazards plan, which means it applies not just to those horrific things that we've heard about in the news lately, but it also applies to things like what happens in a thunderstorm or an earthquake, or the unlikely event that there's a community disaster and the schools have to be closed and become the shelter for the community. How will we respond to that as an organization, and how will our employees respond to that, and how will our students be asked to respond to that? That's what our plan addresses.
Can you tell me more specifics about the plan and how, like, if an emergency happened, what exactly would happen?
It's based upon a response protocol. First of all, as you know, as a student here, and as anyone knows, we have them posted in our classrooms. We have emergency action posters. And they talk about a code red or a lockdown, a code yellow, a standby, or restricted movement, a code green, which is for a medical team, or a code black for evacuation. I'll give you a good example. A number of years ago, during the building project here, we were in the middle of exams here at the high school. As part of the building project, they were digging up some areas outside the building, and the contractor made a major mistake and hit a gas line and ruptured a significant gas line, causing a potential for an explosion here on the campus. We immediately went to a standby, a code yellow, and eventually we evacuated the campus, relocating everyone off campus to Vets Park, and ultimately the students who were taking exams to Seneca School.
Will there be any upgrades or changes to the current security we have?
Oh, absolutely. It's an ongoing process, and I'll give you a good example. Prospect, in the last 2 years, has led the way in implementing the operations plan by having all of our what's called incident command team. Those are the folks who respond to managing a crisis, trained to FEMA level 100 as emergency managers, emergency responders. Seneca Elementary just underwent similar training for that, and the high school's bringing their team online. When we bring a team online, as we did with Prospect and as Seneca's coming online, there's some initial costs. There's things that we do to be prepared to handle a crisis or an urgency or an emergency. Simple things like having boxes on wheels that we can load in student records, that we have supplies like bullhorns or clipboards or lists of students or vests that are specific colors to specific jobs that fall under what's called National Incident Management System planning. So that when the fire department comes in or the police department comes in, if someone's wearing a red vest, a green vest, a white vest, or an orange vest, they know that that's a school official with a very specific function and what that function is.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
I appreciate the opportunity to share this with you and the community. Having a good plan is only as good as the work we put into it, and I think our folks are working hard. What we need to work on next year is reaching out to our community and make sure that they can appreciate that in a crisis, we're going to take care of their children, we're going to take care of the adults, and we're going to make the number one objective is to returning everyone home in an orderly and safe manner. And to do that, we're going to have to practice. We practice fire drills right now. We practice bus drills more than we ever have before. In the future, we're going to practice for those unthinkable acts to make sure that we know exactly what to do and how to keep everyone safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're sick of cooking and want a break? It's your lucky day. The journalism class is hosting a spaghetti dinner to benefit the printing of the Seneca 2014 yearbook. The dinner will be held in the junior high school cafeteria on Tuesday, May 21st, starting at 4 p.m. until 8 p.m. Adults cost $8, senior citizens cost $6, and children under 12 are only $5. To purchase pre-sale tickets, contact Mr. Zesnick, Mrs. Jankowski, or any of the journalism or yearbook staff. Tickets will also be available at the door. Dinner includes salad, spaghetti and meatballs, and a beverage, and also a dessert.
With every school year comes new changes to how the school is run due to the budget cuts and retirements. We asked Mr. Breinstein a few questions, and here were his responses. Money to fund the school districts comes from 4 main areas of funding: state aid directly from New York State, taxes from the local community, federal funding, grants, and other categories. Putting a school budget together and presenting the final budget to the community is a very important part of how the Salamanca School District operates. What we offer to students in the community. The community should be concerned about the support coming from Albany and Washington because they provide the majority of funding for the school district. As Albany and Washington decreased their support of education, this is passed onto the community in terms of higher taxes or service programs are reduced. Being involved in attending community forums and staying informed is helpful in crafting the budget expenditures. This year, the negative has been minimized by relocating and reprioritizing expenditures. Because of increasing costs, the budget is actually increasing 2.72%. Most of these increases are a direct result of increases in mandated expenses such as retirement and pension costs and mandated programs. Next year, 1.90 teaching positions are being reduced, as is a 1.0 technology positions and some BOCES services. We have tried to minimize any staffing reductions, and those that are required are tied more to enrollment needs rather than a direct result of the budget. There may be some staffing adjustments required because of special education mandates. However, as of today, this is not anticipated as impacting the budget. Now that we know what is going on with the budget cuts, let's go to the retirement portion of this segment. This year, there is only 1 teacher retiring. After an outstanding 22 years with Salamanca City District, Miss Margaret Smith has decided to retire. Let's go to Miss Smith and ask her a few questions about her decision.
Well, I've taught in Salamanca for 22 years. However, I have another 8 years on that. So I've taught in Pennsylvania, and then I taught in other districts in New York State. 22 years? Yes, I have. I've been able to teach a lot of different parts of the curriculum. Salamanca used to have, in 6th grade, we had self-contained classrooms, and then I got to teach just reading for about 4 years, and then I taught just social studies for 4 years. So it's been nice to be able to change and try different things. So I'm retiring this year. Well, you know, after about 34 years of teaching, it's time, because I reach a certain age or an eligible age to retire, that it's other things I want to do too. I have a lot of interest outside of work. I want to do volunteer work. I want to spend time with my grandchildren, and I like to do a lot of gardening, and I'm going to take some more classes. I'm still going to be going back to school. This is a very unique district. It has a great variety of students. I like the multicultural aspect of it. I like the effort that the students put in, and it's just an all-around great place to work. It's always very supportive. Our administration is supportive. The co-workers I work with are wonderful people. Well, actually, because this year there's 5 sections, it's going to be cut down to 4 sections next year because the class is smaller. So my job will not be filled. So nobody will be taking this position.